Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steve NupeFromDaVille, and thank you for showing up to another live stream. This time, me and the family, me and my tribe, we're going to talk about what are your favorite cartoon and anime memories. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about what were your favorite cartoons, because that may be something completely different. Like for instance, Thomas right here says his favorite is Dragon Ball Z, and that might be your favorite. But I'm talking about the memories that you had as a little kid or an adolescent in your upbringing that helped form and shape your opinion of the cartoons and anime you like. Now, that can be a difficult topic for some people to broach, just because as you get older and you get into adulting and you start the whole adulting shit, the thing is, a lot of us lose our inner child. My brother, I love him to death. He don't watch cartoons or anime, because anime to him is the same thing as cartoons. It's kid shit. I'm out here doing adult stuff and being an adult. But it's just like, if you work all the time and you don't make any time to play, what kind of person are you? And the thing is, if you don't spend any time with your inner child, what does that say about you? I understand some people abuse it, and you got a lot of people that's still living in their mama's basements, eating cereal and watching cartoons and anime and shit all day, and they don't have a care in the world. You can't be Step Brothers, Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, before they still living at home. But at the same time, you're missing out on some good content, because a lot of this content out here, they're using the medium of animation to do more and to tell you more story than they could with trying to do it in live action and with CGI and special effects. Sometimes it's just more effective to tell the story that way. And even though these are not part of my memories, but like, for instance, and I'll tell anybody who says it, and anybody who knows me knows, one of my favorite properties of all times these days is a Netflix animated property, a couple years old now, called Arcane. As a matter of fact, Arcane is so good, I don't even put it in cartoon or anime category. It's its own category because it's art. It is absolute art. Hold on, let me bring in that dude. The dude has showed up. Hello, Governor.
Yo, what's going on with
What's that, brother?
Hey, man, I'm over here. Sorry for the delay. I've got a bit of a newer setup, so every single thing that I do now is kind of like doing it for the first time. So sometimes it takes a couple of tweaks here and there, but I'm here. That's all that matters, is that I'm here. I'm coming fresh off the heels of a great bad movie night, man. So happy Friday to you, man. No, Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Yeah.
I was just telling the people, I was like, the sad thing is, I know a number of adults who don't watch anime or cartoons at all because they think it's kid shit. And I was just saying that anybody who knows me knows that my favorite these days is Arcane. But I don't consider Arcane a cartoon or anime. To me, it's its own category. It is art. And it is some of the best storytelling, visually, plot-wise, character development. It just, from start to finish, almost all of it tells a story. And I don't think you could have achieved what they did in Arcane animated-wise. I don't think you could have done that in live action. I mean, it's just like, if you look at Titanic, you look at Titanic or Avatar, the one with the blue people, James Cameron movies.
Yeah.
James Cameron had to wait 20 plus years to do those movies because he had to wait on the technology to get to where he could do the movies the way he saw it in his head. You don't have to when you're doing it animated. I can do that shit today.
Yeah. I feel that. I think another a perfect example of that is Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh man.
You can't live action Across the Spider-Verse simply because of the art plays such a huge part in the storytelling, and that can't really be recreated with the same impact that you can when it's animated. That scene when Gwen Stacy is Gwen, right? Yeah, yeah. That scene when
Mhm.
Gwen Stacy is talking to her father in part one, and she's she's disappointed in him. She's about to leave, and they do this really cool little choice with the color palette, and they turn all of the background into watercolors,
Mhm.
and you can see the watercolors kind of like dripping in a sense, kind of like it just got freshly painted, as you can feel like her disappointment and sadness kind of like coming in. It's moments like that that I don't know if you could replicate in the same way um with that you can with that. So I think animation evokes a different type of emotion that live action just can't nail. So yeah, I'm with you. There is its own lane. It is its own thing.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know if I agree with that,
Okay.
but I understand the point, and I think that the way Arcane was done, the way that all the Spider-Verse movies were done,
Mhm.
I'm gonna guess that the technology is there to probably do them and do them in live action, and even I think it's a because to do something in animation is a different frame of thinking.
Mhm.
So to think, just like you said, to do the backgrounds and the watercolors and have it, have it running or whatever. I think live action, you wouldn't think to do that. That is a purposeful thought.
Right.
Um, to make it look like something that would be animated. And I just don't think that we think like that. I think I was talking to Chuck one time, and he's our resident expert on some of that. And to do that is a whole different frame of thinking.
Mhm.
The animation itself gives us a layer of separation. Like if you see wanton violence and all these things, the animation takes you out of it in a way that makes it safe for your psyche to accept it.
I
Whatever
can
you
see
see,
that. Yeah,
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 you
I can
see
believe that.
certain stuff in live action, it's traumatizing. You can see certain stuff in live action, and you be like, "Ooh, I need to call my therapist."
Yeah.
So it's just different. This right here is actually a very good point.
Yeah.
Speed Racer did all kinds of stuff to this degree, and even though it was a gigantic box office flop, I actually like that movie. It's like a guilty pleasure movie
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
because I think the story is not great. The acting is not great.
But have you seen the original Speed Racer? It's
I
not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
Like I know people
So
live in that space in nostalgia. The redone Wachowski version is worlds better than the
yes,
animated version. Yeah, worlds
yes,
better.
and I don't think it was a fully thought out premise to begin with.
Okay.
But what the Wachowskis did with that movie was visually stunning. And actually, all the thought that went into going to giving it that Spider-Verse, that kind of animated kind of feel is absolutely magnificent.
Mm.
I think part of the problem is that the campiness of it, it's almost like this movie didn't know where the balancing act was. It didn't know that when to take itself seriously or when we went over the top with the campiness. And I think that's what caused it to fail, in my opinion, but I could be wrong.
Let me see. I said something different. A little. Hold on, where was it? I just saw him say something. Here it is. Sin City, Scanner Darkly was something that he said as well. There's also What Dreams May Come. There's some really cool artistic things.
Yeah.
Waking Life is another one. I'm not saying it's impossible. I think you said something that's very true, and there is a separation of realism between when you're seeing something being animated and when you're seeing something live action. It does hit a little bit different. Like for instance, like me and you have a show that we really loved and appreciated as a kid, and I'm sure we're going to bring it up a little bit later, called Fist of the North Star. And there's like these absolutely completely over the top things that happen. And animation allows you to suspend your disbelief a lot more. I don't know if the things that go on in that animated movie or show would translate the same way as it does live action. I mean, there's some exceptions to the rules. Like there are some like The Matrix is a perfect example, is damn near frame for frame from a lot of Ghost of the Shell for a lot of scenes, damn near frame, and they work. It works perfectly. But just because it worked for a couple of scenes doesn't mean it can maintain for an entire movie, right? Another perfect example of how like some mediums are good for small amounts of time, but not necessarily the whole thing. There's one called Hardcore Henry. We talked about it in another previous live. Where they did a first person shoot. Yeah, first person shoot. And that's a cool thing never seen that. To use from time to time, but entire movie of it can kind of wear you out. I don't think animation has that level of fatigue that live action can do with some of the choices that it makes, because it's harder to suspend your disbelief when you're watching something real life than it is animated. That's just my opinion.
No, and it's a great opinion. Now I wanted to clear something up.
Okay.
Today's live stream was favorite cartoon and anime memories. Yeah. That's different than your favorite cartoon and anime shows. You may have a show that came out when you're an adult. Like I just mentioned Arcane. That's what, a year old, the second part? And that's one of my favorites ever. Like it's one of those things as a series, hit my top 5 series of all time. Like Arcane is up there, bumping elbows with The Wire to me.
Yeah.
But that's not a memory. I'm talking about if you go back in a memory when you were a kid, when you're a young person discovering your way through this thing that we call media, these things that help shape your taste and what you consider now you like. Like we all know that nowadays you see the poster, you see the trailer, you might catch a couple things on YouTube or whatever. That determines whether you're even going to watch this now. It was a privilege to watch stuff back then because it was so limited. Nowadays, we don't gotta, if it goes to theater, I might catch it. I might catch it on streaming later. I might catch 110 recaps on YouTube. I might catch Centel and Rakai doing a reaction to it. I don't really have to catch it. I'll let Bingeworthy on the Geeks Network tell me whether I should even watch this damn show or not. We don't have to catch it. We'll have a bunch of other people tell us about it, and we'll be like, okay, maybe I might watch it. But back in the day, it was a privilege to catch stuff. And if you heard, if I, was outside on my Huffy, on my mongoose and stuff, and I was like, it's like, man, you didn't come to the park yesterday to shoot ball. Oh man, I was inside watching Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
Fist of the North Star, I ain't heard, what is that? Yeah, and of course you're like, and then a couple days later, dude, I watched it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's different now. So that's what I want us to talk about.
Okay.
The memories, and I keep bringing. He brought it up. I brought it up because that is one of mine on my list. Fist of the North Star, and it is not the first one that I remember. But it was one of those ones, especially because as a very young man, I practiced martial arts. I took martial arts for well over 30 plus years of my life. And that was one of the first ones I was like, oh, outside of being Bruce Lee, I want to be Fist of North Star. I want to tune people up, come back and fight. You're already dead.
You're already dead.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is crack right here. Like,
it's like make.
So we can go ahead and jump into this. And I'm glad I'm not the only one. I remember when it first appeared, and that had me all the way twisted up.
Okay.
Listen. Listen, when Gargoyles first came out, I was like, this is fire.
Yeah.
You know, the whole gargoyles not just sitting on the edge of some damn building, and then they had their own like lore and stuff like that. I was like, this is a cold-blooded show. It was one of the first shows that I remember too that I heard voices in it, and I was like, wait a minute. That voice is a voice of a black man. I know the voice of a black man when
absolutely.
I heard it. Because, you know, even if you watch anime, I was always confused because all the characters have Japanese names, but they look like a bunch of little white boys and white girls with blonde hair and brunette hair and shit. And I was like, I am so confused. How is why he look like a blonde haired little white boy, but his name is Tetsuo? I'm pretty sure that's Japanese. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or some shit like that. I was so confused by that. But I know Gargoyles, I was like,
that was the first time.
I know that's a black man voice. I know it is.
And that's my very first introduction to Keith David. Like, I've seen him as acting in a bunch of other things that I've absolutely adored, especially in Dead Presidents. Oh my gosh, Dead Presidents, he's amazing in Dead Presidents. But even before that, I knew the voice, right? I mean, he's got a perfect voice, and he does sound, excuse me. I'm sorry, he does voiceovers. Sorry. Get my joint together.
You went all the way to Dead Presidents. Dead Presidents, the 90s movie. Listen, I remember Keith David, my first introduction to him, where I was like, oh, that's the voice off of Gargoyles.
Yeah.
He did this little terrible ass movie with Roddy Piper called They Live.
Oh, that's right. He was in that. Oh, yes. He really went back.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? That was an interesting time, though, too, when Gargoyles came out, because animation had really changed a lot. So, for context, when me and Rakai were growing up, there was no such thing as Cartoon Network. You had two chances to see cartoons.
Come on, let's talk about it.
One was after school between the hours of about 3 to about 5. You had like a 2-hour block where you could watch it. And the other was the crown jewel of every kid's week. That was Saturday morning cartoon. Saturday morning. And the thing about Saturday morning is every age range from like 3-year-olds to, you know, maybe like 14 to 15-year-olds, from the Smurfs to maybe something a little edgier like the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon that used to come on. But for the most part, it was kind of like made for kids, like really, really specifically like kids, not even like for teenagers for the most part, but, you know, a younger audience. But when you're talking about when Gargoyles hit the scene, animation to me took a bit of a turn. It was like, okay, we don't mind talking to these kids, but let's see if we can stretch it a little bit further. Let's see if we can't maybe reach some 14-year-olds or some 15-year-olds, some 16-year-olds or something like that. It seemed like Gargoyles had a lot of had a more grown tone. You know, you had like Pirates of Dark Water that came out like around then on Saturday mornings. That's when Batman, the animated series, hit the scene. You know, it was like a little bit more adult tones and stuff. It felt different than Saturday morning cartoons. You know what I mean? And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why it had such a larger impact, especially like Batman. Batman and Gargoyles are two of them where they had like really more, it wasn't hokey. It was a little more serialized in the sense that you maybe had to have paid attention to maybe what have happened 4 or 5 episodes ago. Where Saturday morning cartoons was none of that. It's just this is the story of the day. Sit back, eat some Fruity Pebbles. That was my food of choice when I was a kid. Dry Fruity Pebbles, and just have a good time. But Gargoyles, and Batman the animated series, they changed it up, including X-Men too. X-Men 92. Yeah, it was different. Like, you had to really like pay attention. It was such a pivotal moment in watching cartoons as a kid.
Now, here's the thing though, because notice I said that Gargoyles had a huge effect on me, and I remember that was the first time I heard the voice that I really recognized, the voice of a black man in my cartoons. But Gargoyles came out in 94. I was grown.
Yeah. Okay.
I was grown, so that's not a childhood memory, but that was one of the times, like, because like you said, you watched them right after school, but right after school, I was at practice. You know what I'm saying? I was at practice, football, basketball.
Oh, so you was watching them on the VCR.
Yes, but no, I was watching a bunch of movies, but my dad taped everything on VCR, but he didn't tape cartoons because he's kind of like my brother. Cartoons It's kid shit.
Yeah.
He didn't tape that. And then even I missed a lot of, not all of, but I missed a lot of Saturday morning cartoons. But I did catch Kung Fu Theater on Saturday mornings. That was my shit. But that's because that's what my dad was into. We were doing martial arts. Yeah. So Kung Fu Theater, that was acceptable, not cartoons. Yeah. And my dad, you know, when my parents were together, he really didn't rock with cartoons at all. So, but I read comic books. So he didn't care because I was reading, but you know what I'm saying, comic books. And so Gargoyles was one of the first ones where I saw a cartoon that didn't feel like kid shit to me. I was like, you know, now I'm older, but I was like, wait a minute. They dealing with a lot of adult tones and themes and shit like that. Now, I did watch the Batman animated series because I was a Marvel stan. I didn't really rock with DC.
Oh, you didn't watch Batman animated series?
I didn't. I didn't. I have an appreciation for it now. I have appreciation now, and I've seen some of it. I did see Mask of the Phantasm, which was 93. Yeah. And I was like, damn, this shit is good. Yeah. You know, but y'all know me. Y'all know my thing about Batman. It's like, you know, he just out here beating up poor people. I ain't rock with Batman. Like, you go punk ass. You're a damn billionaire. And best thing you do is go out in a costume and I ain't beat up poor people. I'll beat your ass. Yeah. You know, don't give them no prep time. But if I'm going to take it back to, listen, and I'm going to try to say this without tearing up. Okay. One that did come along when I was a kid. Okay. Transformers the movie.
Nobody was ready. Nobody was ready.
Shit broke my heart.
Nobody was ready.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
What could you do? Now, tell them why. Tell them why. There's a lot of different reasons. I mean, there's one big one in particular, the big obvious one.
How the hell are you gonna kill off Optimus Prime,
bruh?
Like, I remember.
People don't understand how pivotal that was, man.
I remember. I went with my buddy. I went with my buddy and his mom. She took us to the movies to see Transformers the movie, and that shit was life-changing because I'm in there being extra black in the movie theaters, hollering at the damn movie screen, "Get up, Prime! Get up!" He ain't dead, y'all. He dead. This is just a trick. He gonna get up.
It's a flesh wound. Flesh wound. Give him some Energon. Who's got the damn Energon?
Put some Robitussin on him. He just needs a little bit of ginger ale. He'll get up. Oh, yeah. That changed, and I was like, wait, they killing our favorite characters, bruh.
Look, you remember I remember the moment when I realized I wasn't ready. And before even Prime gets touched up, before that even happens, the Decepticons invade an Autobot spaceship coming into Earth, interrupt. And you have to keep in mind, like, for us kids, we was watching Transformers as an afternoon kind of thing. We had known and fallen in love. It wasn't just Prime and Bumblebee and everything else. It was a bunch of side characters that we loved, like Prowler and Cliff Jumper and Jazz. Jazz was another black person. Jazz was another person that you knew was black.
But they couldn't wait to kill his ass off too. Like
in the beginning of the movie, man, that damn Megatron was on one. Rips open the ship. Decepticons are coming in. Yo, they shoot Cliff Jumper in the chest, in his eyes, and the smoke comes out of his eyes, and it's like, that's not what happens. No, it's supposed to be
wait a minute.
Random laser fire that always misses. It's the G.I. Joe moment. You're supposed to always eject before you get hit, and laser's supposed to pass by. And I'm like, wait a minute, Cliff Jumper look hurt. They packed up Ironhide, Prowler. I forgot it was like 6 other ones, dog. And it's like, wait a minute. But then the brilliant. We're talking about moments because Transformers movie is such a moment period to the whole thing. So I'm already stunned at that because they've already killed some people that I already like, and I'm like, what? That's not supposed to happen. The ship comes in the Earth and everything. They see, and they're like, oh, those are Decepticons in the thing, whatever it was. Plane comes crashing down. And then the moment happens, dog, is I forgot who it was. Comes up to Optimus Prime and it's like, yo, Megatron is here, he's tearing everything up, and that damn Prime said, Megatron must be stopped at all costs. And this damn song, you got the touch. Dun, dun, dun. You got the power.
Yeah.
I was never the same, dog. I was never the same. Optimus was whooping ass. He was kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah. Optimus Prime was getting touched. He was getting touched up. He was getting.
Yo, I remember my theater was going crazy as a little kid. Little kids were like, hell yeah. They did our boys 30 up their prime. They're gonna be the one prime. Yes, we're gonna get our lit back, man. And that was the setup. It was the beautiful setup because that damn Megatron said, one shall stand, one shall fall. It gave Prime the beats. Well, not the beats, but Prime was giving the word, but still. And then the tragedy happened. I wasn't ready. Who was ready for that?
No.
Changed everything.
And I'm not gonna say I cried in the movie theater.
I mean,
but
I was misty.
I remember that the pollen count was high. I do remember that. Like, I remember. I was like, who in here is cutting onions? Who has the nerve to cut onions when we watching this movie? It's so pivotal to my upbringing. And here's the thing. The movie came out in 86.
Yeah.
2 years after the cartoon was in 84. So you had been watching the cartoon for a couple years, had the toys at home, and you was used to, what I'm saying? Optimus Prime. Get the beats to, Megatron. You know what I'm saying? My favorite one was probably what was his name? Soundwave. With the tape, the cassette deck, and he had the tapes that fold into the little wolves or whatever. Like, I was like, this shit is cold blooded. Like on a toy level, that shit is cold blooded. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yo, I'm telling you, my geek flag is legit. It's legit. Yo, the joint transforms too, and all the other, and the tapes. Got the thing. It's the Lego joint. Just better ask about me.
I can't even front. That's fly as shit.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's what happens. Y'all got big money. You get big money. You out here buying Lego Soundwaves. When I say Lego, I just mean let's go. Let go.
Let go. Well, can I give a shout out to Frank real quick? Hold on, man.
Yeah.
There's only a few people in the world that know this. I say this out loud, and people be looking at me like I'm about to have a seizure. If you've seen the movie, you know what that means. Oh my gosh. It's the universal sound or the universal language of hello, how are you doing? And Cup gave the little Sharkacons the little Energon. He was like, only a super geek would know that. Frank,
I'm about to say, Frank just said, listen, I will see your geek flag and I will raise you.
He raised it with the money.
He said, I will raise you.
He probably spelled it correctly too, you bastard.
Yeah, that was pretty fly.
Okay, all right. I can't even
front on that.
Frank, you did good work on that one right there, brother.
Yeah, that was. Now here's the saddest thing that I learned as an adult, and I probably learned it earlier this year. Why? As a child, I wasn't ready. We weren't ready for them to put Optimus Prime in his red shirt and go and send him to Cybertron hell. But to hear backstory and to find out the why, they killed Optimus Prime and Ironhide and Cliff Jumper and all of them just so they could sell a new line of toys.
Yes.
We don't need Optimus Prime. We'll make Rodimus Prime.
It's not the same.
We don't need Megatron. We'll make Galvatron. And they just wanted to, they said they knew they was going to be printing money with the movie. And they said, well, in order to do that, we need new toys. Everybody already got an Optimus Prime. They already got a Megatron. No, we need to make them go out and buy new toys. So we'll just kill off the old ones.
It's still disrespectful, bro.
However, because you have a bunch of adults, you probably had a bunch of boomers working on this shit, you know, who didn't have any real seeds out in the street. They didn't know the backlash that they was gonna get. We lost our ever-loving minds. It's not like today. Today you got Game of Thrones. Like, we understand now. We're a very discerning audience now. We understand that anybody can get it.
Anybody can get it.
Game of Thrones changed us. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can get it. But back then,
it was FTK.
No,
it was FTK, dog. They didn't care. Didn't care. They love us.
I was going to ask, what does that K stand for? But it was FTK to us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Give it down. To tell your parents go buy you this new goddamn toy. That's what you want for Christmas.
Like that, man. It's just,
the
savagery,
disrespectful,
the dark Mephistophelianness of it all. Just
wow, Mephistophelianness of it.
It's unforgivable, man. You know what they did? They traumatized us, man. But it was, it was a dope moment. Like, but you know what? Even I can't lie, Galvatron was dope. Galvatron was dope as hell.
I was mad. I was so mad, dude. I didn't buy none of them damn toys. And my dad, because he had zero idea on how to show any love, he just bought it. So we asked for toys and he bought it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, that'll go well with the black eye that you gave me. Thank you, Father. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He was out of pocket all the way, so yeah, he bought shit, so I had a crazy toy collection, but those are the ones I didn't want. Yes, me and He-Man over here crying. He-Man killed the Joes. I don't know. Yeah, but I didn't want Rodimus Prime. I didn't want Galvatron. I didn't want none of that shit. How dare you? How dare you?
The disrespect.
All right. Before we go on, we need to bring on our other
our resident super nerd.
Flag. Yes. So come on to the stage, Frank. Yeah. That was pretty dope. I can't even front.
Man, brought in the ball weep, granada weep, yo, that used to be like our secret thing that we would say, like when I was a kid to you, because nobody, no adults knew what the hell that meant. We thought we were speaking Klingon or something. It was ours, man.
I haven't vocally said it since high school, which is 30 years, 50, 100 years ago now.
Oh man!
So it's gonna sound off because I have not practiced, but I used to do it in the exact same voice. The you just. But that was obviously rusty as hell. But
he's trying to get some voiceover acting. He's trying to get some voiceover acting. Listen, we need to holler at Earl and give Frank some voiceover.
If I didn't give up doing voices when I was younger, I probably could have done that for a career. I didn't know that was a career, even though I clearly watching people do voices.
That's true. That's.
I know. I've heard some people tell me that I need to get into that. I said I don't know how to do that, but I wouldn't mind it. But
My brain back then couldn't comprehend that there was voice actors. For cartoons.
I get that.
You know what though? To kind of keep the same energy going, you're talking about tragic moments in animation that scarred us. Remember, there was another one around the same time. It was around the same time because Transformers came out and nothing was ever the same. And then my second favorite show at that time was G.I. Joe. I grew up in a military family, so G.I. Joe, one of those things I just couldn't wait because it just felt the narrative. My favorite dude was Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow was my two favorites. You know, Duke was all right, but you know, the thing about G.I. Joe at that time when I was a kid, it would be an entire war, a full-blown battle, tanks, jets, bombs, all kinds of stuff. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got wings. People always ejected before they got hit with the missile, all of that. And then Duke got stabbed with Serpentor with the snake that he turned into a spear. And it was the same thing. And I was like, are we about to have this tragedy again? I just childhood therapy. It's like it's about to die. And you would think that would have been the most messed up part. But I'll tell you the part that stuck with me more than anything else when it comes to memories of comics, early childhood traumatic memories. I liked Cobra Commander as a bad guy. He was just a fun bad guy. Voice of Starscream, he was really familiar, you know. Be free, I'll get you, Joes, and this, that, and the third. And even though, you know, the Joes always like, you know, yelled at him like a scald dog, like a dog in the yard, going back where you came from, kind of thing. But what not was it Serpentor? What poor Serpentor did to Cobra Commander was just unheralded as a get back. He threw some kind of weird acid on him and made him turn into a snake. And the only thing he could say was, once a man, once. And then he'd slither off into the thing. It was so effed up. And I'm like, no, I don't even care about Duke getting stabbed. Why'd y'all do that? Y'all went too hard. Y'all went too hard on Cobra Commander. Yeah. And it was it was too much. It was too much.
Yeah, I think G.I. Joe's was on my list because I remember that was one of those ones that I did catch, you know, whenever after school, Saturday mornings, I did catch G.I. Joe, and I love G.I. Joe. Now, because we were also, my dad didn't care about me watching G.I. Joe because we were a military family, you know what I'm saying? My dad was in the Air Force. So, you know, watching this about, you know, and the good guys, you know, the Joes, they fight evil and stuff. He was like, I'll let that go. But real talk, I mean, G.I. Joe had a shitload of characters and people from all over the globe and just whatever. But the cold ass designs, all the cool shit was Cobra. Cobra had all the cool
best
shit.
Gear. Absolutely.
Yeah. I was like, man, the bad guys are geared up, dude.
Yeah, man, big old facts on that.
You know, and I didn't know the backstory, but I was like, man, Destro got this cold ass, you know what I'm saying, cold ass mask, helmet thing or whatever.
And he had a baddie on his arm and the Baroness on top of it.
Yeah. But hold on. My dude, I loved Zartan.
Oh, the dude with the light. He couldn't change in the light. Yeah, like he couldn't
he was like a shapeshifter type dude, you know what I'm saying? But remember, he was like Creole. He was from down the bayou there, but and he had them twins that rode with him, Tomax and Zaymont.
Yeah, Tomax was Zaymont spelled backwards.
Yeah. And Zartan was, you know, a Creole bayou boy, and he would shapeshift and become other people, and you would never know it was them until it was too damn late. But they had the best villains. I liked Zartan because he reminded me he was an evil Remy LeBeau. He was an evil Gambit, and I love that shit.
I never connected those dots. You're right. You are absolutely
Gambit
right.
was one of my favorite X-Men. So when I saw Zartan, I was like, oh, he's an evil damn evil Gambit.
Yeah, I remember the action figure. If you left him out in the sun, he would turn like green or something like that. I remember that. Yeah. But you ain't lying about Cobra having they had the best gear. They had like the cool little robots. The name of them. They had dope.
Were they the Hiss soldiers?
Yeah, the Hiss soldiers. That's what it is. That's what I swear. They had the Thunderbird, which was like the SR-71. They had the Terror Dome, dog. The Terror Dome was
the Terror Dome was that shit.
Oh man,
I remember a buddy of mine had that. Hold on, a buddy of mine, he was new. I remember I was living in Lexington. It was my 8th grade year.
Yeah.
His name was Ben, and his father was like the VA in Lexington. His father was like the chief administrator.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben, I think he was our only child. I don't remember. But I remember, listen, I thought I had toys.
He had all of them.
Ben had toys. He had the Terradome. You know how big that damn thing was? Hold on. That ain't shit. What was the name of the ship? The USS Flag? The big ass, like
the thing that was like 7 feet long.
He
yeah.
Had it. He had it.
Wow. And you could put like 4 Tomcats on that thing. It was so big. Yeah, I remember that. Oh man.
Like, man, it was nothing like going over, like, you know, to play G.I. Joes over his house. Cause he had all the best stuff.
Yeah. I remember my dad feeling some kind of way. But yeah, keep in mind, my pops is from a different generation. So because of that, you know, men didn't really, he called it playing with dolls. And the only thing that saved it, was because like the Barbies were big. Barbies were really big. And I had a family friend who was pretty much like a sister to me. She was really big in the Barbies. And she did all the girly stuff and this, that, and the third. But it took my pops a second to understand the action figure, you know, maybe because it was small. And I think that what really helped, it was the fact that it was military, because my dad did play with the little green military men when he was a little kid. That was like a thing, you know. But for him, because of the action figure and the way it moved, it kind of looked like dolls, kind of dollish, whatever it was. So he would kind of be like, I don't know if that's the thing you should be doing, but you know, it is military, so I kind of like give it a pass. But so that kind of like gave me a little bit of like an in to kind of like do other things. Cause like had He-Man come out first, Pops probably would have been like, nah, that ain't it, son. You got this dude in a mammoth thong
with his cheeks out,
running around.
He got his cheeks out and he's showing his nipples.
Let me tell you what you ain't gonna be playing with.
Yeah.
So,
put down that 6-pack and take this 6-pack, son.
Yeah. Now
so it was different.
Here's what's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, my dad felt some kind of way about all that shit too.
Yeah.
So when I moved out of, don't buy me so many Star Wars toys or whatever, like I want this. I want G.I. Joe. I want He-Man. He wouldn't get He-Man. He would get my mom is actually one who went and got me He-Man. My dad would get the G.I. Joes, but I remember at first he didn't know the difference. He didn't know the action figures. So he got me the big tall ass G.I. Joes.
Oh,
right?
You had the real OG original joints. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I had those. But
those things are like crazy valuable now too, man. Wow. Okay.
I remember though, there was this girl at school. I remember she wanted some G.I. Joes. So any that I had multiple of, I gave them to her, and she gave me some of her Barbies. I remember my dad came in the house and found the Barbies, and he lost it. And he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of shit you into? And I was like, and when I explained it to him, he was like, carry on. Cause I was like, dude, you got me. I said, I got a whole room full of dude dolls. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I need some women. I said, this right here, this is Duke's chick. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they was on their way to go on a date. You know what I'm saying? Like they get ready to have some kids and all that. And this one, he need a girl. And this one, my dad was like, carry on.
You got it.
Yeah. He's like, carry on. That's why he wouldn't get He-Man. He was like, nah.
He-Man's a tough sell, man, for old heads. Yeah.
Thonged out WWE wrestlers and shit. Like he was like, nah. And then, but my mom, she was like, well, I didn't know. I thought they was all together. So my mom did the same thing, but inadvertently, I'd have He-Man, and she would buy She-Ra, and I was like, listen, everybody, you know, I'm not gonna go into this. I ain't had enough to drink, and you know, it's back in the days when we watched the TV where you try to move the things because the shit would be fuzzy on TVs, the stuff you ain't supposed to be watching as a teenager. Like it's, hold on, I can almost see a nipple. Hold up. So yeah, my dolls and action figures was doing some freak shit. My bad.
No, man. Hey, man, when you're a kid, man. You know, it just is what it
I
is.
had questions. We didn't have the internet. So.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly that.
Hold on, we got somebody backstage. Hold on.
Oh.
Come on in here, Donnie.
Yes.
Come on in here, Donnie.
Yo, what up, Donnie? What's going on?
That's the OG right there. Look, he gonna put us on game right here.
You see us old heads over here talking about the good from way back in the day.
I got two stories.
Okay.
All right.
One, following up what Rakai said about the dolls and this, that, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 51. My sister's 3 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. We both grew up in our own separate bedrooms. So she had her dolls and her toys, and I had my toys. Mm-hmm. Her two things running together was Strawberry Shortcake and My Little Pony. Mm-hmm. My thing was G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yeah.
The look, Rakai, this is for you. The look my father gave us when he saw all 4 of those swapping in my bedroom playing together, and imaginations between me and my sister. Oh, he was just looking. He'll grab my mother. Look what the fuck they doing. and they would just leave. I'm sorry for cussing. We said it. Story 2, going back a bit because I was catching this on while I was on my way here. When we talked about the cartoons and how like these things moved us when we saw it in the theater. Yeah. One of the things I did at the same time, because again, those were my running 2 franchises, was G.I. Joe and Transformers. Nothing on top of that. Yeah, to the point where I collected the comics on top of that. And while you saw folks jumping out in parachutes and G.I. Joe and this, that, what have you, and you didn't see any of the Transformers die until you saw the movie, the comics didn't play. The comics did not play. Anybody remember the black medic for G.I. Joe, Doc?
Yes, I do remember him.
He that was the first time I ever saw on cartoon as well as in the movies a character just die. And number 2, a black character too. So he pops up, this is the panel. He pops up out of a hole and he gets shot in the face.
What? He did Doc dirty like that?
That was in G.I. Joe, the Marvel comic. That's the first time I ever saw that. Now, remember, the comics would come out once a month. So I'm saying to myself, they're going to bring them back. You wait 30 days and you expect to see these. No, you just get a new wave of new people that they're introducing. Because the cartoons can't happen. It to me felt like it was so much more faster than the comic was. The comic they would try to cram so much stuff in there. Then you wait 30 days and you're like, oh, what the hell happened? These characters never came back ever.
They're dead. They're dead. Gonzo.
Yeah. So that was mine. That's my 2.
That was one of the things I loved about reading the comics, like the X-Men comics. I remember my brother would not read comics. He's like, this. No, he's younger than me, but he just didn't understand reading comics. I was like, man, this shit is good because they deal with so many adult situations and all of this stuff. I said, hell, I'm reading about the damn love triangle between Wolverine and Jean Grey and Scott Summers. I said, and he just keep trying to take his girl. I was like, I know I like Wolverine, but he's a dirty mother. If I was a Cyclops, I'd put the blast on his ass. Listen, you gonna back up off my girl, dog. I feel you. And the thing is, that 80s, that run through the 80s, a lot of those properties, movies, TV, and then especially cartoons, was highly pivotal to me. All right, and again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. We had a good time. We had a good conversation talking about some of these memories we have relating to cartoons and anime. Thank you again, Donnie, for dropping in. Thank you, Frank, as always. Thank you. Listen, that damn, what was it? Strawberry margarita or some shit? Yeah, it's time to lay down.
Got you.
Yeah. Thank you, Centel, as always. Good sir. Yeah, we've been at it for a little while now. We had a great listen. If y'all not in Centel's Patreon, so you can get in the Discord for real, because we just had a great bad movie night. We just ended on a high note, and we left that and rolled straight into this. So that's something you definitely need to be aware of, and catch all of the bad movie nights and all the other things that we got going on over there. And if you are so inclined, please drop by my channel. If you haven't already, give me a like, give me a comment, give me a share, subscribe. But we're gonna see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Batman, stop beating up poor people. We out of here. 250.
The 250.
250.